Okay, we are back. I'm sorry if that deafened you guys. Oh, the joys of volume mixer. That was 100 and I put that down to 10 and you heard that at 10. That was very loud. That was extraordinarily loud. Okay. And it's not having it. Oh my god. Okay. Let me just relaunch that. I don't know what it is. Apparently I'm cursed today. It's just like one of those good old XTRG streams where just nothing works. Just I don't know. Oh, I could cry sometimes. But I will not. Okay. There we are. Okay. I swear to God it's something to do with the Steam overlay. I need to get rid of that. Okay. It has been a while. How you doing there, General Sir Anthony? Yep. I feel bad for you guys who've been watching this absolute show. I'm trying to remember which campaign it was now. So this one wasn't that one. I think it was this one. We'll carry on with the Stalingrad campaign actually while I'm here. If I can figure it out. It's been a while since I last played actually. Did I last play in February? Wow. I think. I assume so. Well, we'll take a look at it nonetheless. If needs be, we can always start another scenario. We shall see. Has been a while since I played one of these two, actually. Okay. Let's go ahead and get ourselves acquainted with where we are. I don't know why games are so loud. Oh, no, it's not this one. Okay, so this was one of the early turns. I think we were quite a way ahead of this. Let me go ahead and find that one. Let me see. Ah, yes, there we go. Quite some way ahead. There's 22. Yeah, we'll go with that one then. I was thinking turn 2 doesn't sound right. Okay, so here we are with turn 8. Okay. Oh yeah, this was just as we pushed towards Vorozhnesh. Vorozhnesh? I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay. You know, this might be... It might be one of the first time. No, it's not the first time I played this on a new laptop. I don't know why it feels like that. Okay. Let's go ahead, get an idea of where we are then. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual battles that have taken place. I don't know why it's been so long since I last played, actually, but yep, here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and let Sliver know. Right, there we are. Let's see then. Where's our battles? Not that one. Ah, here we are. So, let's take a look then. Now, I'm trying to remember where we were during the actual turn sequence here. Ah, yes. So they've been moved. We were and ahhing really as to what to do with these forces over here then, weren't we really? Yeah, that was it. So we have a couple options here then. Oh, now I remember. I wanted to look at towards actually shifting some forces out here then. Yeah, I need to do some more 1Vs. I've just not been streaming as much lately, really. That is due to the fact of just having a university, as per usual. I got my last exam for the second year on Monday, so that's fine. I'm looking forward to getting out of the way. Okay, I believed I had gone ahead of this, actually, but we might have had some issues with crashing. That's okay. So if we take a look then where we are, we do have the 4th Panzer over here then, so we do have our 5th Panzer army. It's coming back to me now. I think I'd moved the SS, hadn't I? Do I have that save? I feel like I might. It's just it's listed in such a strange manner. Or maybe I don't. I may not. Where are we? I'm trying to find... Right, so looking at February there. How very odd. I don't know. Maybe I might have been hallucinating at that point there. Okay, either way then, we'll take a look what we can do here. So the Red Army has moved forward. Pretty sure they did come in here. Yeah, because we haven't fallen back behind the river. Oh, where did that side go? Okay. Yeah. This is actually a little bit behind where we left off, isn't it? It is, in fact. Because a lot of the disasters over here haven't yet happened. Ha! Okay. I don't know what happened with those. I don't know. I don't know where they went. How you doing there, Bearcat? Good to have you, my man. But apparently we have a chance to reverse the impending disasters that are about to come here. Okay. Now, I would like to actually free up a division here. What phase are we in here? Ground, I believe. Yeah, ground. Okay, so I have my regiments there. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, the south is a little bit harder to deal with due to their actual size there. Right. Yeah, if I do recall, we did have things go awry here, so I do need to bear in mind. This mountain division is not as great as you would imagine. It's been such a long time, actually. I kind of miss it now. Maybe I should get back into it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look over here then. So I have the 18th Army. What am I looking at in terms of rail out here, in terms of stores? So we have quite a lot stored, but just not really where I need it. If we take a look at the actual rails over here, I can see... I really need the city over here to be able to do things. Well, to really get the rail running, or unless I could capture that, but that's not likely to happen there. Okay. Yeah, we have the level 4 there. What do I have here? Heavy woods. We got clear there. Okie dokie. Heavy wood, light wood there. And swamp over here then. That would be a nice one to take there, which is a ×2. Spend the times, well, better than the +1 of the actual light woods. I could potentially get away with a checkered defense over here, but I would rather not do that. But I think what we're going to go ahead and do, because we did end up having this area lost over here, or almost lost, but the AI didn't have the killer instinct to actually finally seize it from us. So, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here, because these security regiments aren't doing me all that much, really. Not especially. I need to free up some more men here to go north. So I don't get fined. Okay, we have quite large numbers in the 290th and the the 122nd. So I could free up the 24th Infantry Division. I could free up the 227th there. I'm going to have the 227th head over here then to actually build up those defenses there. The Regiment of Security, rather than have them go to waste, I'm going to have them go here. They're going to build up. It's only 6,000 men, but you can see they have 23 there, defense in the light woods, but I'm going to try and build that up yet further. So I can move this division here. That division can move as well up there. So I can have those two divisions march into here and actually occupy that space, so I could move in there. Okay. And these are 14, 13. This division here, I'm going to take a look at their fatigue. Fatigue is actually low. I mean, that makes sense due to the fact that they're not particularly too heavily fighting. You can see this division here is a little bit more fatigued. This one's a little bit fatigued. Fatigue over here on the 227th has built up, obviously due to the fact that they are moving there. 96 again, we are seeing fatigue there. So I do want to have an ability to rotate divisions. You can see that the fatigue does vary. And I can imagine fatigue will vary due to the fact of... we'll see here, yeah. So this division over here came into attack in that turn there. So if I take a look... Interestingly enough there... Oh, is it this one here? Yeah, that one there, you can see. Okay. So looking at about 11k men. Okay. So this core over here then has 17 victories. I just saw that, went down to see that victory count. Ah, there we are. Okay. So I have a spare division over here. Got this division over here then. 51. 65. I mean, they're still looking pretty good there. I mean, this one's a little bit worrisome. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do here then. How far can they move? They can't move that far due to the fact that they're not... Well, they're static as a division. Right. 11. That one's a little bit fatigued, though. I do need them out of combat so I can rebuild them. So what do I have there? 90. Let's go ahead and see here, then. So if I mobilize... That does cost me a lot, but I can move them again. I'm going to go ahead and remobilize. At least these ones here, but I don't need to. This one over here is actually a very strong division, arguably. It's actually pretty close to the strength at the beginning there. I could regain those trucks if I wanted to, but I don't have the railheads where I really want them to be over here. If I take a look, you can see that the railheads... Well, this is the closest railhead, really. That's the depot that they're drawing from. These are the ones that aren't really functional as such, so I don't really want to go ahead and set them static as such. It's a good idea to create a temporary attempted salient opportunity. The issue is that would be nice. That would be something that we could probably do in early 41. Here in January 7th, 1943. We don't quite have that oomph anymore. Don't quite have that oomph. That's the problem. So what we lose is going to be exceedingly difficult to retake, if at all indeed possible. So I'm looking here at how I can actually pull men off the line, and I could do a potentially more men down here, but this is where we need to have men. So what I think I'm going to go ahead and do here is be somewhat more brutal in it. So I have this division over here, which I would like to have rebuilt if I could. So let's see, 10,800. Let me go ahead and get its TOE count here. Obviously their TOE is set to 70, and I will alter that. But we're seeing that theirs is up there at 73. These guys have 67, 73. They're at 74 actually, so they might be lower, but they're actually pretty good. 68. Let me go ahead and take a look at the data here from the 18th Army. Commanders reports. Okay, so I'm just seeing the 18th Army here right now, then. At least I do believe that, yeah, 68 units. And now go ahead and actually show me a percentage of TOE. Let me go ahead and actually take out... Where is my... There we are, take out the construction. Let me take out anything that supports, actually. It makes it nice and easy to see what's going on here, man. Okay, so if we take a look over here, then we can see the... And I need to use this view far more often, actually. Let me go ahead and... I may take out the cores there, but I'll leave the cores in for the time being. Is that San Francisco? How you doing there, Slater? Good to have you, my man. Let's see. Take out the cores, in fact. And I'll take out the army, too. There's my army. Core. There we are, army. Okay, so this is just showing the actual divisions that we do have under the command of the 18th Army, which is 17 divisions there. Which is about a total of 119,985 men, which is not too bad. I could actually go ahead and set these, so that's a really good way for me to do that across the board. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. The issue is they won't really get back up to TOE when they're on the front line. They just can't do it due to the enemy contact, so they do need to be off the front line, and ideally located on a depot for that to happen quickly. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, because we are at a point in the actual game where we had surpassed this point. We were past this point, but for some reason I don't have that saved. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take the decision to get things, well, really rolling. I can see that 21st division here, then where's the 21st? Yeah, the 21st is in dire need of being reconstituted, or at least, yeah, built back up. So they've just been moved into here then. Okay. 51. Where's the local depot here? My depots are receive and supply, which is at least something. Okay. I could really have done with a depot behind here. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and set up that depot. The idea here then is move them there. Take the 21st Division, have them head out there. Now that reduces my strength over here, but what do we have here? Light woods, we have heavy woods over here then. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is light woods, yeah. So let me go ahead and bring up my infamous drawing tool. Because it's superb. And I really wish I got sponsored by these guys after the amount of times I've shouted them out, but you know. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, thank you for the update, I haven't used you in a while, but thank you. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is I'm going to, that's a bit of a thick old arrow, I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit skinnier. A little bit smaller. Let's go with that one. Make it nice and bright for people to be able to see there. Let's make it a eye-piercing yellow. That doesn't work. As you can tell, I don't know my colours. Let's go for a red. Let's make it a little bit bigger. That'll do grand. Okay. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to move this division back over here. I'm going to have at least one... I'm going to have both of these divisions actually fall back to this position here. The idea is I'm going to consolidate this line and just try and make it straighter. Just try and reduce the amount of men I need to have in the front line. I'd like to try and move men to the main depot over here so I can actually then build up our forces. This area over here is quite vulnerable and is definitely in need of having fresh men brought into the area. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. That security division will be reinforced, so I will be able to do that. But for now, it can sit there and look pretty. It does at least give some additional oomph, gives some additional deterrence to the enemy. So that's not a bad thing to have there. So we'll go ahead and do that. I do have those two divisions there. So they're going to go ahead and move back here. Oh, yellow was better. Oh, does it now? Fair enough, maybe I should just made it a bit thicker then. Let me go ahead and do it with the yellow. I'm out of my words. And that word today is yellow. That is better, in fact. Fair enough. Yeah, so they're going to head back over here. They're going to go like that. Ah, yeah, don't need the yellow snow, indeed. Yeah, that is indeed the truth. And then I will probably take these divisions and have them head out somewhere around this area here. But that's going to be the general idea there. Okay. Now let me go ahead and see then. A lot of these divisions aren't in terrible shape, in fact, so that's not bad then. Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? See, this mounted division, he's not really... So we're in heavy woods there, we've got light woods there. Okay. The division could be there. Oh, see, now that's a good question there from Major. We will be moving towards the lake of Ladoga. Well, we will be moving north, but I need to move north when the winter dissipates, really. And I do have quite some time until that happens. Generally, what we're going to go ahead and do then, if I go over here and go into the interdiction map mode, so you can see that the Soviets have control over here. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is take these fine and dandy airfields in this area over here then, so you can see that we do have this unpronounceable airfield I will not even try to pronounce. But if you take a look, I do have some forces in this area here. Just a couple. Just to show the flag for the most part, but mostly to run, really, fighters. Fighter cover. Now, that airfield's occupied. That one's occupied there. So we have 39 BF-109 G2 over here. Then what do we have? G2? Or is it the Fucker Wolf? I think it's a G2. Yeah, so we have G2 over here then. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I do have... Yeah, so I think this is before the SS have really arrived. So we're about a turn behind where we were beforehand then. So the Liebenstein Adolf Hitler SS Panzergrenadier Division is actually headed towards the front. We do have a 5th Panzer Army headed towards the front there. We're in a position now where we're just simply gearing up to be able to counterattack. Resist and bite. We do have forces back here in the Reich that need to go forward. It's not often I get to say the Reich. I could just say Empire, but the Reich just sounds a lot cooler. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go forth with that. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Jaeger divisions. The reason being is their TOE is never quite what you want it to be. So this is not a division I want to have in the front line. I do need to have that moved down elsewhere, really. Arguably, the Luftwaffe divisions I don't know, let's see here. 22, 40, 22, so 422, 4. Let's see, light flag. How do they compare to a Jaeger? Okay, so they do surpass the actual Luftwaffe. I almost said Fluffwaffe. So they do surpass the Luftwaffe, but not by much. Yeah. It would be nice to move them down south. Hey, done that, Shadow? Good to have you, my friend. You know, you guys are making me actually when I couldn't. I don't know why I stopped streaming. I need to get back to streaming. It's one of those things. We all get busy here and there, don't we? Okay, so I've got a depot over here, then. Let's get their arses into the depot. Yeah, to shoot through the mountains, indeed. Right, have them refit there. I do have that command there. Okay. Now I will have the actual room to maneuver here to move divisions. I need a division here first and foremost, so let's go ahead and get that sorted. That I would like to reinforce if I could, frankly. I'm gonna go ahead and remobilize them too. The reason being is I don't want them to be in a position where they get stuck. They need to be able to move, really. See, Moscow is a really good thing to actually go for. I do actually, I do like the idea of actually going for Moscow. Not in this game, perhaps, but, well, in future games. Right. They need to be mobilized, so mobilize them. I'm going to go ahead and mobilize here. I'm going to remobilize essentially the front. Sure, I'm saving trucks, but I need to be able to move more freely for the most part. Okay. What we're going to go ahead and do then is shift. That's going to be the game plan here. That means I can move these two divisions. So, they're going to fall back there. And if I go ahead and take a look. Okay. They can shift over here then. And also go into refit mode. 21 fatigue. They don't have as much fatigue, in fact. So if they can move there, they could even fall back. But what I'm going to go ahead and do here... Heavy wood's okay. So... that division moves up here. This division moves over here. 100 combat prep. Okay. I'd prefer them to have gone into other terrain. How you doing there, Racer? Good to have you, my man. And I do have them over here. I'm going to have that Jaeger division actually sent elsewhere. It can remain under that command for now. 54. That division, I'm going to take off the line to actually recover. So they can go ahead and enter into refit 2. Okay. What do we have here? Swamp, light woods, swamp. Now, I have my depot here on the front line. Granted, though, well, actually saying that, I actually do have a fair amount of depot. I do have a fair amount stored there, in fact. That's not bad. Okay. What I want to go ahead and do then is actually have this more central, really. Yeah, sure, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. We are playing the Stalingrad to Berlin campaign. Things didn't work out exactly as I would have hoped for, but it's still a game ongoing. I'm tempted to actually dissipate the depot over here. Let's see. If we take a look over here then, and there's part of me that wishes I could zoom in yet further. But if we take a look over here then, let's grab my drawing tool. Heavy woods. Okay, so if I draw this out here, we have a line of swamp. That looks like... that's heavy woods then. Okay, so heavy woods is good. Okay, so we have swamp down this way. This area over here then is swamp, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, it's pretty good. It's definitely good against AFVs. I believe swamp has density rule. I know heavy woods has density rule. I think they have density rather than double density. Heavy woods may have double density. I can't recall here at the moment. It has been a little while. But what I'm thinking about doing here is, because this is +2 terrain, rather than falling back into the actual... the difficulty is, I have fortifications over here, granted, and it is difficult to dig new fortifications in winter. You do have to pay a hell of a lot more for those points there. But what I'm considering here then is, do I just fall back from the light woods, which is not really ever going to give me as much as I could gain elsewhere? Like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. What do I have here? Heavy woods. Yeah. Difficulties over here, so I would have to... I don't have to, but I would maintain these ones for now. Yeah, exactly. So essentially what I would be doing then is moving back into here. Okay. They would move back here then. So they're on the front line anyway. I think I'll maintain that position for the time being then. The reason being, it gives these guys the ability to get stocked up over here. Unless I actually move them down to Novgorod. Which, I'm going to go ahead and shift these guys down to Novgorod. Like so, I'd shift the others if I could. Right. They're fine as they are. 11 fatigue, 16. They've only got 40 combat prep. Okay. No. They can actually move much further, really. Depot here, technically, but there's no freight. I need to get that closer to the depot, really. Is there any depot nearby that has enough? There's this one over here. I'm going to go ahead and have them sent over here to refit. Yeah. We'll go with that. I do have HQs in the area that I could potentially use. Just need to reorganize them, really. So... okay. Let's go ahead and shift you over here. Shift those guys into the swamp. That division can stay there for the time being then. And dig that in. What do we have here behind Lightwoods? Okay. Let's go ahead and shift that over there. Play center refit. Okay, so that's a pretty big fallback. Granted, I don't have construction of fortifications here yet. It will happen. I did leave myself... yes, I need to cover that. Yeah, so that can head here then. Or in fact, what I'll do here then is... that can move there. Then I'll have this regiment undergo refit. At least I can actually refit some of them. Okay. That command's overloaded right now. This army is somewhat overloaded right now. If I set them to assault, I won't be able to dig in past level 1 fortifications. I can manage it, but we'll have to look at that. Okay. So they can be like that. That's that. At least I managed to pull off a number of divisions and rearrange other divisions. So that's 66 over there. Need to move that one there. Scheiße. Really, that one should have gone to cover this here. In terms of what we actually have here, it's not a great situation. I'm Major Joey, which is a great name, by the way. I had given the the AI time, as I didn't want to go too hard on them, and I have come to regret that because they have massed their guard corps. And guard corps in winter, in fortifications of this nature and this ferocity, are quite nasty. They do bring a hell of a lot of firepower to bear. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. Okay. What I'm going to go ahead and do here then. Okay. Let's make this work. See, these guys have level 2 forts in Swamp, and they have far exceeded this. And this is a smaller, less well-armed division. This one has 100 combat prep. It's actually 75. It's actually one of the best equipped ones here on the front. It's over provision, but this one has 45 fatigue, less guns, 106 guns, 137. Yeah, this one is a better division than the Jaeger, but obviously due to the actual terrain, they're in pretty good shape. I'm worrying about this, and this one's actually in a pretty good position there. I need to maintain this here in the Lightwoods, because obviously I don't want to move back into clear and have nothing. I could... Well, then again, saying that, I could potentially move back over here to the Swamp. Let me go ahead and take a look here. I'm thinking about how best I can make use of the defensive terrain I have here. Because I do have the city, which I think is a +2 or something of that nature. I think that definitely benefits from the density rule. But what I'm thinking about doing then is I have Lightwoods here, so I can fall back into the actual swamp here. I have the city here, and then I have Lightwoods here. So, essentially what we have then is swamp over here. There is a minor river there. I do have the heavy woods over here. No, so this is swamp over here. Let's see, what do I have? Heavy woods. Heavy woods. Okay, so that's pretty good, in fact. Actually, no, I'm going to hold on to that position then, because that's pretty good. Yeah, I've got heavy woods down here to the south, which secures my position then quite nicely. And I do have some breathing room around Novgorod then, so that's pretty good by me. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is have them fall back into the swamp over here. Yeah, we can see there, they have about as much as they did here. Over here anyway. We're looking at swamp. Heavy woods. Okay. Right. That works for me then. That works. Okay, we just need to do some redesignations of command, and then we're good to go. They need to go into reserve if they can, really. Well, actually, no, just stick into refit. And then I'll reorganize that. Okay, so I've fallen back over here, but I've actually moved back into the defensive terrain I can work with. It still doesn't fix my ultimate issue of over here, but that's okay. What I'll go ahead and do then... Swamp. Light woods. Now, see, I have a conundrum over here, because I have this position, which, annoyingly, I can't fall back from right now. Oh, yeah. See, that light woods there lets me down. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do even just move to 24 fair. Okay, we'll go with that for now then. That secures that position. This one over here is a weaker than I would really like. But there's not much I can do there. So I'm still going to expose myself. Really, come on, May. What I'm going to go ahead and do then next turn is pull back from that position. This one here being Lightwoods. Then again, this is a problem, isn't it? It's like, how much is this worth? But it's still worth something. So I can separate them at least. They still are able to transfer men and material across, but not as easily. So we have to bear that in mind. Now, I did have requests. I'm going to go ahead and sort out commands there shortly enough. But I did have requests to actually go ahead and view the line. The line is an interesting one at the moment. Like over here, I can go ahead and actually tighten this up. And well, not tighten up, but actually spread them out a little bit more. And get a little bit there. I do have the 3rd Panzer Army over here. We are sitting pretty in Veliki Luki, which is quite nice. Though I do have a lack of infantry elements over here. And a bit of a glut. Oh yeah, this is before they actually came in here, isn't it? So I've got to bear that one in mind. Because that's the thing that can happen. That was kind of crazy. They kind of stuck an entire army in through here. If you guys know what I'm on about, you know what I'm on about. But that happened. None of this timeline. Not yet. But it is something. I decided to pull back from... Where did we pull back from? It was some distance out here. We had this city beforehand. Oh, we pulled back from around about this point over here, didn't we? So we pulled back quite a few miles there. We are dealing with this over here, so I have these forces to deal with them. They're not encircled yet, but they will be. Sorry, and isolated. They're not isolated yet, but they will be. Over here, we are kind of dancing in the snow, in the plains. Is it an Air Force map? Ah! If I could have more aircraft, I would have more aircraft, so that's good to know. And the reason why I don't have more aircraft on the map right now is just due to the fact that they don't really fly all that well in the snow. So I'm only really flying defensive missions right now. So we have a blizzard to the north there. We do have heavy rain there. You can see over here in the north we have blizzard. Over here we do have snowfall. So conditions aren't exactly spectacular right now. Right, there we go. So you can see that we do have the actual snow. Then if I go over here to the north, we actually do have the full-blown blizzard. So this area over here to the north is pretty nasty. Okay. We do have forces moving towards the front. It's just obviously not a great time for them. But things are working out relatively well over here. It's a shame that we lost this. I was kind of surprised we did lose it, but we lost it nonetheless. We do have some ability to respond over here. Frankly, there's a part of me that's like, well, maybe I should trade panzer divisions for infantry divisions. Because obviously these guys over here have 41 CV. They may be potentially weighted more over here in the west. But again, I don't really have much I can take from over here. I got a Luftwaffe field division over here. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. I'm just above board over here, but not by much. So we do have to be quite stingy. In Norway we are above, but again, I have forces that I cannot simply move right now. I do have other forces that could be moved, and they may be moved out in the future. Finland's looking great, and I do have some divisions over here in Finland that would be great elsewhere. But a loss of strength over here can make quite a big difference. I do prefer to keep Finland strong, because if you lose Finland, then things do get spicy. I really do not want to lose the Finns. Norway, we don't need to worry about too much. The heavy cannon can move to the map. That doesn't affect me all that much. We do still have quite a lot of artillery. It will take about 4 turns to show itself, but at least it is good to have those guns, really. Yeah, we'll get that artillery moved out. Is it probably 105mm guns? Yeah, 105s. And we do have some 150s there. Okay. Get them in there. And again, looks like more 150s. I do have a Panzerjäger battalion there. Now, these guys aren't exactly great, but what I'm going to go ahead and do then... Are they due an upgrade? They should be due an upgrade, surely. They should be due upgrades. Ah, yeah, as you can see here then... Actually, do they have any 75s? Oh, they do have some 75s, in fact. Okay. That's not bad. Like, I do value the Pack 40 exceedingly highly. We also do have some Panzerjäger too, so that's in fact, it may as well be more Pack 40s. Or is it Pack 36 there? But I think, is that the Russian gun? 76.2? Could be this, but I could be very, very wrong. I could be very wrong, but I think it may be the Soviet gun, but I could be, of course, wrong. I do have these guys too, which is pretty cool. Okay. So they're going to go in fact to the map then. I do have flak regiments. Oh, we do have these mountains over here. Yeah, Finland's well provisioned, in fact. Pretty well provisioned. I do have some Panzer battalions over here, but these are in fact made up of French tanks. 100. And I can drop that down to about 90, perhaps. Ah, okay. 3.7. Yeah, exactly. But then again, they did need to hold on to it. Now, I do like the mixed flak battalions over here. Normally due to the fact that they do have the 88s over here. AA guns are an interesting one. They don't fight offensively, but they do fight defensively, I do believe, or they have a chance to fight defensively. These flak regiments are outstanding. I'm going to go ahead and take these mixed flak regiments. Oh, sorry, mixed flak battalions. I do want to try and get them worked into a number of corps, in fact, because it is quite nice to have at least some actual heavy AT capability. When I say heavy AT, they're still completely capable, but they're not as capable as they once were. I mean, 152 versus armor isn't as great as the Pack 40. The 88mm Flak 18 AA gun is still a great gun. It still has some pretty phenomenal range. It's just not quite as good as it used to be. AK, it's not quite as effective in 43 as it was in 41. That's why you have more of them. In terms of the actual, yeah, Flak 18s. You can see there that we do have 64 of them. That's quite a lot. But we'll get those moving out there. Do have some Finns over here with their heavy guns apparently, but they're not that heavy for us. At least not according to German standards. Okay. I do love these MGs. I'm going to go ahead and actually strip Finland of things of this nature. Now, they're likely to never in fact return, but we do have the Finnish army at least. Aiden, Mifrandia. It's a great name, in fact. Right, so we've got that there. I would love to take more from here, but I don't want to take that down too far. In the reserves, we do have a 5th Panzer Division right now. Now, the thing about the Panzer Divisions is, like, you see that that's got 15 combat value. I'm pretty tempted to actually have that sent to the west. I do have the Croatian Infantry Division there. Those are the Narves Estonian Battalion. Sorry, Infantry Battalion. I got a heavy flak battalion and mixed flak battalion there. Okay. Some stone gazettes that need to be rebuilt. Okay. Now, how are we looking in the west? The west is just above board. I really need... I don't know. I could really do with having more infantry divisions, really. What are we looking at up here? Granted, the best I could do is take a Luftwaffe division. That's 2 Luftwaffe divisions in fairness. Just not saying a whole hell of a lot, but they do come in handy. But it's a shame, really, because you are spending manpower that could be spent better elsewhere. And the garrison, then. Now, we do have these forces over here. I think I did issue transferring them to the map beforehand. So I could take some Romanians. Look at a fortified morale there. It looks like they have rebuilt, in fact. 46 out of 40, sorry, out of 50. So the Hungarians are better fighters, really. Though the Romanians actually do have more guns. And more men. Of course, it does actually depend what those guns are. 24 artillery. 80 guns. They actually do have some. It's not a lot, though. Well, they're supposed to, but they don't have any 75s. So they have the 100 mils. How does a Hungarian light division look in terms of equipment? Yeah, so the Hungarians actually do have access to the 149, so at least they do have some heavier artillery. The Hungarians actually do have only 4 75mm, but at least they have some of them. Okay. They also do have that morale, which does make a pretty big difference for quite a lot of things, actually. So looking at 40, 20... Well, really, security divisions are an interesting one. Now, the idea really of having these guys in here is I can take these security divisions and have them sent elsewhere, really. The German ones do contribute quite a lot. You can see that their combat value does exceed that of the allies there. Yeah, tell me about it, shoot. Okay. I can go back to the map. There's not a lot really in there. I do have this one over here at 2. And they do have that full morale. I think I'm going to leave the Allied troops in here. Ultimately, I'd like to actually bring more Allied troops in here and bring more Germans out. I could try and take a German division out of here. They're all pretty good, in fact. Let's try and transfer one of these to the west. That does take me to 98, but okay. I don't really want to take more than that. So, that's North Africa. I can transfer some things out, but not a lot. Italy. Not really anything I can transfer out right now. The Balkans, again, is also one of those just quite close to being fully fulfilled, but not quite. Okay, so we don't really have that much floating around there. I do have the 138th Panzer Battalion that's being rebuilt right now. They're just simply waiting on tanks. They do have a surplus of close support tanks. How are we looking in the west? 93. Okay. How are we looking on the front? So we have pulled back from over here then. And we do have this over here. I'm going to actually go ahead and take one of these divisions. I could even potentially take two of these divisions, and that would be really quite a bold move. It really would be quite bold. But I could potentially do it now. I could even take the Luftwaffe Field Division to support that, so it would actually be a big division with the Luftwaffe Field Division, but it'd be closer. It would be closer, perhaps, in terms of actual raw manpower towards a 1941 division. Not by much. Maybe sheer numbers of actual men. Obviously, they're not going to have the strength of the 41 division, but yeah. Yeah. Do I have any Jones in the Balkans? I can't actually take any out right now, as far as I can tell. Unless I missed one. Yeah, I can't take these out right now. I think because it covers Crete as well, so you do have some forces in there. Surprised when it says Balkans and it includes Crete, but hey. Okay. I do want to free up men wherever I can, really. Crimea doesn't matter all that much. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I do have a decent Luftwaffe Field Division there. So that works for me, then. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do then, we have 12k there. We've got 11k. 21, 14, 43. Okay, 43 can remain here. The 9th Division can move. Now, I don't want to overload these lines, but these guys aren't that heavy. But then again, there is some pressure on the rail lines, especially out here then. So I'm going to go ahead and actually march them instead. It'll take them time, but I'd rather... And it will take them time. I might as well just move them via rail. Right. That's fair enough. I'm just used to having it referred to as Greece, really. Or I suppose maybe the Mediterranean, perhaps. But I get what you're saying there, so... That's fine. Where do I need these men? I could really do with some more men out here, just to actually start to place down some barriers. I could even have them sent towards Kharkov, and then at least I could actually have two divisions. Just begin to dig in, perhaps in that area. That would be quite nice, actually. Actually, no, I need them down here, because I need to be able to take off divisions from the front line, but are in pretty dire straits, and have them sent to be rebuilt, really. That would actually be quite nice. Crimea is a pretty good place in comparison to a lot of the front. So let's go ahead and get that done then. They will be moved then. So I can move them over here, in fact. And I think I will go ahead and do that behind the actual river. That does mean that I can actually move forces elsewhere then. And I did have issues beforehand around this area. So if I have a little bit more leeway to play with, then that's going to be quite nice. So I'm going to go ahead and take that as an option. I do have the remainings over here. Let's go ahead and just shift this remaining core just to the rear. That frees that up. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me take a look actually. 36, 21. In fact, I'm going to take these two divisions. This one can actually go back there. So yeah, these two divisions can actually return. Over here, they can join their comrade in arms. Actually, I won't be able to take them off train over here, so I'm going to bear that in mind. Let's take them to where the depots are then. In fact, I'll set them over here. This area's not going to be under threat anytime soon, really. So let me clear some room. They can come in on rail and just go into position. So that needs to be built. Yeah, okay. I think I'm just going to keep that position as long as I can, really. Might as well get some use out of it. The 17th Army, though, could however move, but we'll see. I mean, right now... Well, actually, in fact, I have that, but I'm not even gaining that much down here. That needs to change ASAP, really. Kharkov would be a good city, then. Like, we are drawing from over here, but not so much over here. Well, actually, no, we are drawing from here, too. But not that much as to warrant that. Okay, they need to go to Kharkov. I just need to get it done. And not faff about. So it will affect them this time, but it's not too bad. I do have mass, even though it's a wounded force in the field. It's something I can still use. Now I'm going to bring in the divisions over here then. I do have... Well, then again, we are in a difficult position here, just in general. And I think I'm going to go ahead and actually take those two fresh divisions, move them there. I need to have them where they can actually make some good. I could even be really risky and just have a Luftwaffe hold that, but that is probably a little bit too risky, even for my taste. But they're not going to arrive really on the front yet anyway. Maybe at Rostov, but it can't be guaranteed. So maybe I just go for Kharkov and get off at Kharkov. Let's go back on that one then. They can remain there for the time being then. Panzer Division needs to be moved out. Let's go ahead and just move that army group there for a second. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and actually get these divisions over here then. D-train. Now you can't move, which is not exactly ideal. Well, at least you are in the general vicinity. So I'm a group B. Like so. Okay. Yeah, we do have the actual sites covered over here that they would likely make landings at. That division can hold that alone, really. Okay, let's see. We did see this line actually collapse beforehand, so we do have a glimpse into the future, really. Gotta bear that one in mind. Yeah, I know, right? It's quite the irony, isn't it? Yeah, it's gonna be painful over here. I think we just need to fall back as much as we can over here. We tried to make a stand, but yeah, even at the cost of depots, I need to go for the terrain. That helps. Learn a lesson there. We do have the advantage of having seen into the future, and it's pain. Right, so they're going to head that way. Oh, I don't have my roads on right now. Just go ahead and get those roads on. That makes things make a little bit more sense. Move there south. Take that division there, the 9th Infantry Division. They can have a nice sojourn to Kharkov. Okay. Place them. I can't place actually them to refin. These guys are good to go, but in fact I'm going to go ahead and raise up their TOE to 100 if I can right now. I'm going to also go ahead and take the 9th and do the same. They are in Kharkov, City of Dreams. And there is freight to be made use of. Not a lot. Not a lot. Most because of the actual city there. So let's go ahead and make that a high priority depot. I need to balance out the depot, so that'll take time in of itself, really. But we have that. They can go to Army Group B, and they'll be good to go. Okay. So we're in a situation here, then, where things are tight. They are very tight. They need to dig that in. Right. I know this seems overkill, and it really is overkill, but I just need them to dig in ASAP, really. I don't think we're at risk over here, but I also do not want to wait around and find out. I could have them sit on top of the actual division to lend them the support elements there. Let's go ahead and bring that up to 100. I sincerely do doubt that they would actually bring in anything. But if I don't sit on this depot, I probably would lose a lot of that capacity. Yeah, I do have a lot of capacity there from sitting on it, so no, they can just sit there. Okay. We'll go with that. What I have here, regiment. So 2 elements of 4th. That's the other element of 4th. I've got 2 elements of 1st. And that's the other element of 1st. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and take this element of 4th. They can move over there. They can recombine. This element can move over here to the city of Sevastopol and recombine. And this element of the 5th Luftwaffe could move over here. They can be assigned to them. Now, I also need them to be assigned to somebody. Is that in range? That's apparently in range. That works for me. Okay. So, the Crimea is quite literally on a skeleton garrison. Not much we can do about that. Nor shall we do much to alter it. That's fine by me. Not exactly ideal, but not much I can do about it either. So, it's one of those sweet and beautiful situations. Now, the enemy is capable of launching amphibious operations, and I do not know if they... I don't think they can over here. I'd have to read the rules regarding interdiction and amphibious landings, but I think these areas are safe. In theory. But I could be quite wrong on that. Don't think it is safe, but we'd have to bear it in mind. Okay. Let's just take a look at what we have in terms of actual forces to go to the front. I always do find it irritating that I have all these divisions that cannot be simply used, but hey-ho. In terms of what we have then closer to the front, we do have some divisions actually heading out that way. I think I've been too reluctant to move forces via rail to an extent. I suppose in some ways it's a lesser, though potentially greater evil. It may be the greater evil as simply because you're not seeing the effects of it. They turn after as such doesn't mean that you're not feeling them. Because when I march these men, yes, they suffer fatigue, yes, they suffer attrition, but they don't take up more resources than they're due in terms of like the rail capacity. Because that rail is the lifeline for the actual rest of the entire front. Well, the rest of the front. And they surely will notice differences. Okay. I need to try and make sure I hold this. I have Luftwaffe over here, which is not a laughing matter. I think I need to actually divert reinforcements to this area rather than to the north. The reason being is this area here I do have a lot of defensive terrain I can actually work with, whilst elsewhere I do not. So even if I just simply fell back further here, it wouldn't actually be that much of a problem. I do have fortifications over here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to stick to them. It would be nice though. But I also do need to cover ground. Which gets a little bit complicated. So I've got swarm. No, I've got heavy. Is that heavy woods? I've got heavy woods over here. Heavy woods. Heavy. See, that one's quite light on the ground there. Right, you switch over to this position here. You heading over there. Not the best trade, but it does help them out. I don't need to have 2 divisions to hold the city. What train are we looking at over here then? Linewoods. Now we do see there's a mechanized core behind this, so we do have the chaff at the front, but we do have more dangerous elements behind that. I could really do with having these mobile elements elsewhere, really. But I really need to have more divisions here on the actual front line in the center, around Smolensk. Just simply having more bodies in the field really would go quite a long way. And I need to figure out how I'm going to make that work. I really need to figure out how I can have a minimal defense here. See, now the case is I do have a great position. The difficulties is like I'm committing more to it than is actually gained in terms of value. Because what I'm considering here then is simply having one division here, that division there, division here, like division here-ish, something like that. I know that I may even be abandoning positions, but frankly I need to cover ground and I need to free up more infantry. So it's going to be painful. But I'm going to go ahead and rip off the band-aid here. What an American thing to say. I'm sure you guys love it. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I know it's going to hurt. But I just simply need to cover more ground. Yeah, at least I can actually reinforce something down here. I need to cover ground. It does allow me to actually do that at a cost. But I can't hold everything. If I defend everything, I defend absolutely jack all. That's a damn good division. Right. Shorten is the difficult part, because I could, but then the north over here is inferior terrain. Even here is inferior terrain. But I need to hold the depot. So it's a hard one. I may in fact leave that. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that one there. It does mean that the depot is actually at risk, but I'd rather depot be at risk. I could always just simply fall back to another depot, really. So that's that. They can head over there, that can head down. Oh, that can stay there, apparently. That stays. Tension anyway. That shifts there. I could even have that division sent up north, in fairness. Or even south further. Kind of regret moving that one first, but hey. That's a damn good division too. How that one make its way south? I've got to hope that's under control strong enough. I could always do another division out here, actually. I'll do what I want there. I think I need one south, actually. Could really do with more down here as well. The north's okay. Not really, but it's okay. Again, not really. I could do it more. I need to like relieve the actual 3rd Panzer Army here. I'll sort that one out. So that frees up 2 divisions to go south. I need to cover that ground. I mean, I will have another one soon. I'm considering actually launching like a small counteroffensive over here just to knock these guys back. It doesn't really make that much of a difference, so that's the problem. Like, it does if I can achieve an overwhelming victory. Like, these guys are in light woods, but these guys being here in the clear terrain would be quite nice, but I can't guarantee that the mechanized corps won't just simply join as a reserve, and then it kind of notifies the entire point of like a quick victory. Those sort of things really may be a thing of the past. So these motorized divisions are fantastic, and I need to get them elsewhere. Really do need to get them elsewhere. In terms of areas that actually experience some great deals of pressure, I mean, we can see that we do have pressure here. We have like 3 guards corps over here, rifle, cavalry, and mechanized. We've got 3 flavors there. We've got our chocolate, our vanilla, and our strawberry there. Yeah, exactly, Shu. And the thing is, you can fall back, but in the winter you can't fall back easily, because obviously you do suffer the actual problems of the winter. You suffer yet more, as you can't dig in very quickly. So it is one of those. I mean, we are dealing with the Stalingrad to Berlin campaign, so you do have to play with the cards that you're dealt to begin with, which is not a lot of fun. It does mean that you have to try and balance things. There's a good case of just falling back immediately, maybe as far as you possibly can, because then at least you're in the best possible condition, maybe. It's one potential way to think about it, but yeah. But then that can go really badly. Like, the worst part of the actual front here is the Arel Kursk Kharkov line. It is pretty much hellish, because you have this big old area over here where you don't really have natural defensive terrain, and you do have a number of important cities and important rail links that you have to try and defend. And it's difficult, because over here I've had to double up, in some cases potentially triple up, on the actual divisions, just to make sure that they can actually last, or at least actually survive. If I take a look over here, we've had some pretty big battles in the past. We capitulated the 8th Tank Corps over here, which is not really much of a tank corps. But I guess corps can really be quite a free-flowing term. If I go over here then to my commander's report, clear filters, take a look at battles, attacking men. Now it's not showing me the most. I'm sure I had more men than that attack. I feel like I have. Oh, this is this turn. Yeah. I wonder then, I may not be able to see the older battles, because I did have battles that were larger. At least I think so. Let's see. There's this one over here. Oh, yeah. But we had 12,000 men gone. That one was rough. That was very rough. And the issue is as well, is that we have that to deal with, but then we have the Axis allied armies over here that begin to crumble very quickly. Very, very quickly. So we need to fill that. And in fairness, I need to be quite willing to pull men from positions that don't need to be held. Like, this doesn't gain me anything. I'm not gaining anything from this right now. It's nice to have that buffer space, but that buffer space does come at the cost of lives elsewhere. I do have a large concentration of men over here that need to be moved elsewhere. I would like to reinforce this because simply having a bit of reserve is not that good. I mean, I have far more reserves to the north than I simply do in Jack Hall, really. They just simply need to have an infantry division move in there to take up the actual trenches, really, that have been established in that position. After that, we could do far more. Now, looking towards that, what do we have? I need to look at morale. They have a pioneer battalion attached to them. The mountaineers are interesting troops because, well, they're rather good in this kind of terrain, in this kind of climb. They're going to go into the light woods. I'm going to have to simply pull back from here and just accept any potentials. We have Elikaluk over here, which is like the strongest fort that we have right now, so that's cool. They have that going for them. The motorized simply need to move down here. We need to be in a position to actually support our forces. Having Luftwaffe field divisions on the front line is not good. Like, we have our flanks over here covered by Luftwaffe field division. We've got what, about 9k-ish, about 10k there. Granted. We do have this division over here, the 205th there, the Mushroom Cap Division. You can see that we have less than we would prefer. Well, let's take a look. We have 114 guns there. Actually, they do have a decent amount of guns, but I guess it comes down to what guns they do have. Yeah, you can see that we don't even have artillery listed over here. We have just the light artillery. And this unit actually has none of that. We're looking at just the... actually a fair amount of AT guns, actually. That's pretty admirable. We have 30 of those, 92 guns being mortars. 37 flak guns. A couple 88s in fairness. Yeah, so... in terms of what we really have, we don't have shit. We don't have the light artillery. We've got 5 guns over here, which is actually not bad. Interestingly, they do have artillery. They don't have light artillery, they just have artillery. We have some assault guns, but yeah, 2 ain't going to make that much of a difference. And then over here we have 6. A lot of AA though. Yeah, okay. So while in theory it looks like we have a lot of artillery, we really don't. Then you look over here and then you can see that these divisions actually have... I mean, look at those 150s. Those 150s are more firepower than, like, what, 2 or 3 of those divisions with their 75s. Then we have the 25 105s. We do have 19 Pack 40s. We also do have the more... well, we have some Pack 28s. We also do then, of course, have the 150 infantry guns and the 75mm infantry guns. So, yeah. On top of that, we also do have more mortars. We have 81mm mortars. We also have the 50mm mortars there too. There's quite a big difference in terms of firepower between an actual division and an in-between, a manpower resource hog. So we need to go ahead and address that. These panzers I have been stingy about beforehand. I would have preferred to have get them in cities, but we do not have that option. In fact, I do have that option, the fact that I can have the panzer there. It does mean that they fight far less efficiently, but it's not a tremendously bad thing. But I do have a level 2 fort over here, so I can make use of that. Now, the motorized, I'm not as particularly overbearing about. They could take up that position, and I think they must take up those positions, perhaps. I just simply can't afford to have Luftwaffe employed in such a way. Luftwaffe are really second-line troops. Well, the divisions, their TOEs are just second line. They can't really be in a position of that nature. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do here, then, is they're going to go move there. These fellows are going to go ahead and move over here. And then the third one I could move elsewhere is, like, support. I'm thinking even potentially over here. Though, in fact, that's heavy wood, so I think that would negatively affect the AV elements. There's not many, but there are some. So I would need to bear that in mind. And that's heavy woods, in fact, so that's the same. Shiza, I should have noticed that. Okay. Well, Shiza. Okay, not much I can do about that. But at least we have that. Now, last we have run out of time. I do apologise profoundly about the amount of technical issues that we did have. I was due to actually be playing some combat mission here tonight, but apparently that hasn't gone ahead, and I can only apologise about that. I could get the game up, but for some reason it wasn't playing ball with showing my mouse, and it's a little bit hard to do things when you can't see the mouse. So, thank you for watching this impromptu the stream. Thank you very much for Stalingrad TV, and I hope you guys actually stick around to watch more in the future. I don't think there's anybody on after me, but there will be somebody on probably tomorrow. So, till next time, I guess I'm going to say, Jane, Mataraishi. See you later, guys. Have a good time.